What's happening, everybody? Today we're doing Sarah's Euro mount. I'm going to show you how we do that. Sarah's downstairs right now. She's going to be my little helper. So basically we're going to take her buck and turn it from that to much better looking like that. That's the plan anyway.
Hi.
Are you ready to work?
Almost.
Oh, you let me know when you're ready. I hit him perfect. I hit him absolutely perfect.
Running, gunning, I think that's the only way we can do that.
Big old main smallmouth there. Caught it on a drop shot, about 28 foot of water.
The first 15 minutes. So basically all I did, I scanned that head out of hers. I'm not gonna show you guys that whole process. It's pretty simple, pretty straightforward, not the prettiest thing to watch, and most people probably aren't gonna watch it. So all you're gonna wanna do is skin the head out completely. I don't like doing the lower jaw. To me, with a European mount with a lower jaw, kind of looks like an anatomy project after it's done instead of something cool like a skull mount. So I take the eyeballs out, I take the lower jaw, tongue, all that stuff off, get it down to, like I just showed you, as bare bones as you can get it. I got hers, I'll show you a close up here in a second, but I got hers saran wrapped and then I taped around it, not because this process that we're about to do with the boiling isn't going to bleach the antlers at all, but hers has some bark that's built up in the burrs and she wants to keep that because it's cool. So I just saran wrapped that and taped it around there to protect it from the boiling process. Another little helpful thing too, if you leave the hide on, like this I scun out probably 10 days ago, 12 days ago.
Yeah.
So if you actually leave the hide on the skull, bone is very porous and it will actually absorb some of the meat or the blood from the meat. So if you leave the skin on, that's best. I scun it out and wasn't really thinking. So all you got to do in that situation, where for some reason if you leave the skin on, it doesn't absorb into the bone as much, but if you skin it out and let it sit, it will definitely absorb into the bone. So all you got to do in that situation, if you're having a hard time bleaching it, is before you start boiling and all that, is let it sit in water. I put that in water yesterday afternoon.
Oh, it's just been a little while.
Yeah, it's just, yeah, so it's been almost 24 hours, and just let it sit in that water, dump that water out, put new water in, and now we got to start this big old pot. You should probably do it outside, but I don't have an outside propane boiler, so I do it inside, which not all wives probably will love.
But I let you.
Mine lets me, and she loves it. So we got this big old pot, and the boiling process needs to start now, and it's going to take a long time.
Hi.
You excited?
Yeah? I've never been here for the whole process.
No, I usually try to do it when you're not here so I don't get yelled at for making a mess.
When have you ever been yelled at for making a mess?
So now all we can do is nothing.
Wait.
Yeah.
Be really blue.
We'll see, yeah. We'll see you guys when we're color corrected better. Alright, we got the water boiling. First thing you're going to want to do, I let it get up to a hard boil. You're going to want to back it off a little bit. The more aggressive the boil and the longer the skull, this takes a few hours to accomplish, so it actually breaks the bone down, makes it really brittle. So you want to get it down to like almost like you have a soup simmering, just bubbles every once in a while kind of thing. And then you're going to want a degreaser. Dawn dish soap works really good. It helps break down the fat on the actual skull itself. And if you have this at a hard boil and you got this in there, you're going to spill over with bubbles, as my wife and I realized after the fact. You can use borax too, but if you use too much borax, it actually can eat away at the skull a little bit. So Dawn dish soap is probably the best. So we'll get the skull. So I don't really know if there's like a certain amount that you're supposed to put in, but I'll kind of cover the skull a little bit. I'll put it down in the nostrils, anywhere that's going to need some good degreasing. Put it in the back where the brain is, and then you just set it in. And then just add, I don't know, as much as you want. I don't know if there's a what ratio Dawn just soap to water you would need, but and then just keep an eye on it. Turn it up or down as you need it. You'll have to probably add water 3 or 4 times between boils and just boil it till a lot of it's coming off, and then that'll be the next step. So this is it for now.
But one thing you do want to do is keep the fan on.
Oh yeah. If you're doing this inside, do yourself a favor. You're gonna want a fan. All right, boiling process step 1 is done. It's gonna need to be boiled probably 3 or 4 more times, but you can see starting to peel off pretty good at this point. The ideal thing to do at this point in time is if you have a power washer, that's the ticket. You can just take it outside, spray it down, and you're pretty much done almost immediately. I don't have a power washer, and we're in Maine, so it's freezing cold outside, so the water would probably just freeze in the lines anyway. So I get to do the good old-fashioned sit down, spend an hour scraping flesh and meat. So that's what we're about to do. And you're almost doing more of a, almost more of a scrape with your blade than you are cutting or slicing. And that degreaser with that Dawn dish soap or whatever you use, you can see how gummy it gets. So if you don't use that, it's going to be a lot stronger and not come off quite as easy. Another thing you can do too, grab some needle nose pliers. These ear holes right here, these earbuds, those actually can be removed and will take a lot of stuff with them. I don't know if they're quite ready to go yet, but I see a lot of guys not do that. All it is bone. Super hot. But that whole ear canal is just a bone. And it makes getting back in here and cleaning up this portion way easier. Once I learned that little trick, that made this area not nearly as bad. Oh yeah, it is.
Oh yeah.
That's the ear canal.
Cool.
And then all that meat is just in there. What are you doing?
Picking chicken. That's what this is like. That's what it reminds me of. It's not that bad. It actually keeps my hands warm. Some of it, you can feel when it's not ready, like it hasn't loosened up at all. So I'm done picking what I can off of it for this round, so we're gonna put it back in the water and let it boil for a little longer and then give it another shot. Yeah?
Mm-hmm. Boiling number 2 is done. I need the box over here, please.
Gotcha.
Basically all you're going to do is the step that we just did, boil it, pull it out, scrape on it for a while. You're going to just do that over and over and over. So at this point it's 5:45. This will be our last time scraping it for tonight. And we'll be back with you guys tomorrow in a new day to finish it up hopefully. See you tomorrow. Well guys, it's the next day and he's getting there. He's almost done. We spent
a long
time, probably 2 or 3 hours last night, sitting at the table, just picking and picking and picking. It's not a super hard process, but it is very time consuming. It's pretty easy as far as tools that we use. Sarah used a toothpick, which I've never used before.
That was super helpful for getting in between where the bones are touching. Key. Oh, and around the teeth, the what is that called? The
gums.
No, yeah, the gums. But the toothpick was perfect for that. Like. Psh.
And then needle nose pliers to grab the big chunks, and there's usually in with the brain, between the brain and the skull, there's a membrane there that always seems to hang on, so needle nose pliers were key. A knife doesn't really need to be sharp because again you're doing more of like scraping than you are cutting.
Something that I did a lot too was I used the back side of the knife, so I'm not catching as much, but I'm still scraping the little pieces, which was, I use that side a lot more than the sharp side.
And then you want a big old flathead screwdriver, and I didn't show you guys getting the brain because it's kind of gross. Got the brain cavity right there. You just kind of stick that in, stir it around, get out the gunk that you can get out, stir it around, and then in the boiling a lot of it comes out too. So that's really all you need to do this point up to this point. Now it's the bleaching. We got Salon Care 40 cream, and we can get that pretty much any beauty parlor,
I got
hair
this at
salon.
Sally's.
Yeah, I don't know where that is. Walmart probably has it. No.
I don't think so. You have to go to a beauty salon.
So an actual beauty salon. You can get it on Amazon too, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. But this I got at Sally's, so it's just a beauty supply store for hair salons.
It's basically a hair bleach, but
yeah, it's the base.
yeah, it works on skulls too.
Developer. It's the developer.
Yeah, I don't know what that means. And then I like to use a little brush to just kind of apply it on, especially around the antlers, because you do not want to get this stuff on yourself or your antlers. So a brush works good. So we'll bring you guys in close, and we will throw some gloves on, because I'm sure this isn't the best stuff to touch in the world.
Nope.
And we'll start applying it to the skull. And then we got a little trick to make the whole bleaching process much faster.
We do?
Yeah, surprise. Alright, so what I usually do is I'll start, again, you got to be like whatever hand you're going to use to paint with or touch the antlers with to move it.
Can't get gunky.
Yeah, it cannot get gunky. So what I typically will do is I'll start and I'll pour a bunch down in here and on this, and then whatever spills over. Do you want me to pour it for you?
Sure.
Whatever spills over I use to do the other side.
Oh, good idea.
Just make sure you're getting a decent coat over everything. Don't go too light, like this is too light up top. But again, don't spill over the sides and get it on your antlers.
Oh. Hey.
Alright, she is done with applying the cream now. Now typically you can just leave this and let it sit for about 12 hours, 24 hours, whatever you want to do. Wash it off, look at it, see if you like it, apply it, and keep doing that process over and over. But I learned if you can apply heat to it, you can do it in the matter of minutes. So I use the oven. I'll put it on 350 and bake and cook it for about 10 minutes. So that's what we're going to do right now.
There she is. Okay.
Careful, it's going to be smoky.
That works. I can't believe how quick that was. That was awesome. I love it just how it is. I like the kind of like natural look to it. Like you can see still a little color in the teeth and a little color in there a little bit. It doesn't have to be completely bleached for me to be happy. I like it to be a little rustic looking, so I'm happy with it.
So now, last step for this is we're going to let it cool down for 5 minutes or so, and then we're going to bring it into the tub and make sure we rinse it off really, really good. You don't want this stuff sitting on it for any length of time after it's been heated like this. So we'll get it into the tub and rinse it off, and then we'll show you the final product.
I can't wait.
It doesn't matter. Just make sure you're rinsing it off good. In the brain cavity, you know, everywhere.
We're all done?
We're all done.
We did it.
Yep, show them off.
All right, so I'm super happy with this. Ooh. Never done this whole process start to finish. Only seen Jeffrey running around, boiling things, cooking things, kind of wondering what he's doing. Now I know exactly what he was doing. And it's quite a process. I enjoyed it. It wasn't terrible. It did take time, but I think it's definitely worth it in the long run, because how cool is this?
Pretty cool. And a lot of times if you guys overboil or overheat, you'll notice like right here, there's a gap starting. So a lot of times this nose, anywhere where that bone will come together, can potentially split. I see a lot of guys that just leave it. I think that looks kind of crummy to a finished product. So you can actually, I don't like to use super glue, so I'll just tape it together when it's still wet. So I'll take duct tape and I'll wrap it right around and pull it down tight, and then just let it dry. And then once it dries, it stays in that position. So if you guys ever have that problem, especially overheating it in the oven if you choose to do that, or boiling it too long, a lot of times that little membrane will come apart and split. But it's a really easy fix, and it just takes a little while to dry, but once it's dry, it's going to look a lot better. So that is how I do a European mount. There's a lot of different ways to do it. There's a lot of better ways to do it, but with the tools that I have and the time that I have, that's what I prefer to do. Especially when Sarah's doing it, it's a lot easier for me. But thanks for watching, guys. Next episode, we're actually going to do a skull mount of Jordan's buck on a wooden plaque. So that's going to be the next taxidermy thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah.
Don't forget to subscribe, and if you hit subscribe, hit the bell so that you get the notification every time they do a new video. We love you guys.